Wow. Those who clap there, may God increase your salary according to how loud you clap. Wonderful. Do we have some? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have some Christians in the house? Let me see by hand. Proud Christians. And out of the Christians, how many of you attend Orthodox churches? Catholic, Methodist, Presby. I respect you guys. Very disciplined. Their church, when they say they'll close 9, they close at 9. Oh, true, they are disciplined. They are disciplined. Hymns. If you give an Orthodox church member a hymn book, whatever he sees in the hymn book is what he sings for you. He doesn't exaggerate or blow it out of proportion. So help me sing this hymn as an Orthodox member. Hold your anchor, hold in the storms of life, when the clouds unfold. Was that my phone too? Hold your anchor, drift off and remains. We have an anchor that keeps the soul steadfast and strong when the billows roll. Fast into the rock which cannot move. Hey, I'm waiting to see me. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Give this same hymn to a Pentecostal. They will spoil the song. Anybody who attends Pentecost here? Oh, they will spoil your song. That's how they will sing the hymn. Hold your anchor in the storms of life, when the clouds unfold their waves of strife. Da 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 de, da 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 de. Oh mi amahunya mi, oh mi amahunya mi no ede o him. They will spoil, they will spoil your song. I love Pentecost so much. I never. How many have paid a visit to Pentecost? I am any member of Pentecost. You see, in Pentecost they believe in the Holy Ghost baptism and speaking of tongues, like in tongues. Sorry. Now, when they pray, the Holy Ghost descends on somebody, and somebody becomes the mouthpiece of God, begins to talk on behalf of God. So you go like, Mema, mebeye adefufro ewo mabrabom. One time I went to Pentecost, and this lady was like, Mema, mebeye adefufro. Then one guy from nowhere came to slap the lady. Bowa! I was like, boss, what's up? Was last week, or Beka Pentecost. But I love Orthodox churches. You see?
That's Lekzy, the comic, and he joins me in studio. Good morning, Lekzy.
Good morning.
You're right.
Good.
Everything cool.
And just some little sickness. I think the weather is not really fair to me.
The Hamatan is
I'm
getting
used to
you.
snow.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. I brought you for. Yeah, you are used to the snow.
Yeah, not the dust.
And it's too much, eh? All right. So, how has 2019 been for you?
2019, I'll call it a blessing, and I learned a lot in the year 2019. Whichever way I'll say it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Like we had our first time performing, like we had the chance to perform outside Ghana, and also I'll call it a blessing. Yeah, basically.
Okay, so apparently there's some confusion with the pronunciation and the spelling of your name.
Okay.
So is it Lekzy? Lekzy. Well, how do you pronounce it and how do you spell it?
Some call it Lekzy, other call it Lekzy, other call it Lekzy. All make up the bang bang bind. All right.
So how do we spell it?
Okay, it's Lekzy. The K is silent, so Lekzy.
So it's
L-E-K-Z-Y. But
K-Z-Y.
the K, you can keep it silent in there.
Okay, so Lekzy. Like sexy, Lekzy.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. All right. Okay, so why is that? Why Lekzy?
The name has no... Okay, when I picked the name, you know how when we complete JSS, we all have to pick a nickname.
Okay.
And I don't know, I just picked the name Lekzy. It had no meaning. I just picked it. So when I came into showbiz, people keep asking me, what's the meaning of your name? So I made a meaning out of it.
Yeah.
So the E stands for learned, E stands for exceptional, K stands for knowledgeable, Z stands for zeal, and the Y stands for, some girls say yummy. But the haters will say Yawa, but whichever way.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yawa.
So it's Lekzy the comic. Okay, so you just had to add the comic because I mean you're a comedian.
I'm a comedian.
Yeah. Okay. So now tell me, you went to Nigeria.
Yeah.
You also went to Togo.
Yeah.
How was that? How were those performances?
Okay, so the Togo one was a big thank you to Abeku Santana. He called me one time and said he has this tour company. He's been touring people around, so he wants to spice up the whole thing. So he said, okay, there are these expatriates in town. He wants me to entertain, but we'll go to Togo and do that.
Okay.
So they carried me along. That was my first time going outside the country. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I had a chance to go to Nigeria in the month of October. I had a call from Acapella.
Yeah.
He called me and said, my brother, are you still on game for my show? Because you once mentioned that you would want to come over to Nigeria. I said, I want to come.
Yeah.
So when he called me, I didn't even prepare. So like 2 weeks to the show. So we had to talk to a few people, then we made arrangements. And a big thank you to Savannah Premium Cider. They held me down and took me over to Nigeria. And it was mad. They gave me 15 minutes, later beat it down to 10 minutes. Got on stage, the timer was 7 minutes, but we still had to squeeze out the best. And it was awesome. I have some few bookings for next year, this year, sorry, 2020. So this year too, I'll be going back to Nigeria, God willing. If plans don't change, I'll be going back to Nigeria.
But now, generally, in my opinion, I think, comedy in Ghana last year, they did well.
Yeah.
Some comedians did very well. But in your opinion, how was it in the industry? How was it in 2019?
I would say it was good. Because counting back to some years, ago, to get Ghanaians to even come and sit at your show, even when you give them a free ticket, they won't come because they thought we were not funny.
Okay.
But now we charge like as much as 100 Ghana, 150, and people are rushing in for tickets. Sometimes you exhaust all your tickets, even be proud to the show. Now this year I had a chance to do my show at the National Theatre and Snap Cinemas, and the numbers were just crazy. It's a step in the right direction, and it's an improvement on what we've been doing over the years, and now I can say that Ghanaians are gradually buying into our craft. Yeah. I know the damage that was caused took a long while, but with time, I think we'll cross. And our target audience is not really for the we have our target markets, like the corporate, the more formal. So mostly the street cannot connect. But 2020, we are trying to beat down the whole vibe for the lane man to also understand.
Okay, because what I've noticed is that a lot of comedians, they don't really do as many shows as they do corporate shows. Most of them are, doing for certain companies. Why is that the case? Because I don't often see a lot of shows coming up like, okay, every month or something, except for like maybe DKB or something. But I feel like most of the comedians go corporate way. Why is that? Is there a certain reason?
Okay, so you mentioned DKB. My show Laugh Line, I don't know if you've ever
Yes.
It's the longest running monthly comedy show in Ghana now. And we used to do it at Silver Beds. And they moved us from the smallest auditorium because our numbers were outweighing the space there. We went to the medium auditorium. Then they gave us the biggest auditorium. Still the numbers, we moved to global. That place too. Then we had challenges with space because the numbers was getting overboard. Then we came back to Snap Cinemas, and so Christopher will be a judge to it. He said like GH comedy hasn't gotten there yet, so we should have limited expectation, and we blew him out. We blew his mind. He was like, really, I never knew people come for your shows like that. Coming back to your question, monthly comedy shows we do it, but you see, if the sponsorship is not coming, you can't do it all by yourself. Paying for auditorium, paying for instrument, paying for microphone, sorting comedians out. Gate proceeds alone cannot sort all that. So mostly when people start, they can't keep it going for a long while. But the reason why we do more corporate is the corporates pay.
Yeah.
That one you don't invest much into. They are investing and you go and perform and take their money. So mostly the corporate people engage our services and all. So basically that's what I would say.
Okay. Well, I'm South African, So if I come to your comedy show, how do you try to bridge? I mean, you also went to Nigeria, although Nigeria is not as far, from Ghana in terms of language and stuff like that. But how do you bridge the gap for me to understand your jokes? Because I want to come to your comedy show and I want to laugh. And I understand that you can't be speaking English all throughout, but how do you bridge the gap? Is there a certain way that 80% of my jokes will be in English, 20% will be in Tree? How do you bridge that gap so that your international audience can understand?
Okay, so
Do you think about it?
Yeah, I consider my audience before I go.
Okay.
When I was going to Nigeria, I knew they wouldn't understand the tree stuff. So mostly when I write, I try to keep the punchline in such a way that I can easily convert it into English if the audience changes.
Okay.
So maybe if I'm going to Nigeria, I can't do the local dialect.
Yeah.
So I will just convert. Even in Ghana here, there are some corporate shows you go and it's full of expatriates. You can't just go and do local dialect. You just have to do things. So you consider your audience before you mount the stage. If I go to a Night of Thousand, it's a blend of everybody. So I make sure I feed everybody accordingly so that they all enjoy. I don't just stick to one side of the coin and keep the other people like hungry for. Because you can see everybody laughing. It's like they're in a no man's land. They don't know what is going on. So I just keep it in a balance. When your audience calls for, if I'm coming to multimedia, I know what I'm coming to give to multimedia. If I'm going to South Africa, I should know what I'm giving to South Africa. And when I'm in Ghana, so I consider the audience before I select what I want to.
You want to do. Okay. How does 2020 look for Lekzy the comic? 2020
looks very good. Hopefully this year, I'll be inviting some comedians, some from Africa, some from Kenya, some from. It's a surprise. I'm not supposed to even say it.
Okay.
Like there are a lot of comedians coming all over to join me do the Laugh Line this year, and more shows. I'll also be traveling a lot, and I'll do more shows too in Ghana. So they should just follow me on social media, and you'll get the update. All
right. So give us your social media handles before I give you some time, and you'll perform for us.
All right. So the name on the screen is Lekzy the Comic. That's what you should look for on. That's for Facebook.
Yeah.
But on Instagram, you bring an underscore.
Okay.
And on Twitter, there is an underscore. So the comic, and when you type it, mostly autocorrect wants to make it demonic. Change it and do it the comic as spelled on the screen.
Okay. All right. So this is your stage. I am your audience. The cameramen are your audience. We've got the control room, the director, the sound. They'll be your audience, and you just,
Okay. So let me see what I can do. I'm not feeling well.
I understand.
So let's see what we can do. Okay. So this year, I had a chance to sleep in quite a few hotels in Ghana and outside Ghana. And last weekend, I went to Kumasi. I checked into my hotel, and the next morning, they came to knock the door, open. I thought the room service. They said we should come out for morning devotion. And I was like, who goes to hotel and goes for morning devotion? They can come and knock your door and say they need the remote. Why you in 3? You are sharing the same. It's crazy. But I'm in the media house, so let me touch on media. This year and last year and last 2 years, I realized that the journalists in this country are struggling with dealing with the government in power, and we comedians too are struggling. We are not getting jokes because the president in power has a way around it to make us feel like he's doing something. I have State of the Nation address. When they go and they ask him a question, Mr. President Kufuor, please, how is your government fighting Galamsey? You know Kufuor in English. Thank you for the question. You know the evaporation of the condensation into the bubblation of the saturation of the bubblation. Do you understand the question? Journalists will be like, you ask journalists, what did the Kufuor say, Charlie? The money be deep, Charlie. Deep answers. But Mohammed's time, we could, he won't answer, but it's quite like, Mr. Muhammad, how are you fighting Galamsey in your government? He'll be like, thank you for the question. When I say Galamsey, you say no Ababase. Galamsey. No
Ababase.
Galamsey.
No Ababase.
And then I do. But Anklata was the best of all. You ask Anklata, how are you fighting Galamsey? Thank you for the question. I will be a question of what friend would then. What friend in Napoleon a ticket. At a hefa, Miti East Legon. Would that nature what to Galamsey or her? There be anti the Wufias, but one knows one. And Papa, I think Kufuor too was okay. Kufuor, Kufuor never answered any question during this time.
Oh, really?
Well, he's a slow talker.
Yeah.
So you ask him, Mr. President Kufuor, how are you fighting Galamsey? Thank you for the question. Ghana. We are fighting. Galamsey. After 3 hours, let me summarize. Then after he asked, does anybody have another question? You see the journalist, sir, please create a WhatsApp group. But Papa J was better. Papa J too was better. You ask Papa J, how are you fighting that I'm saying? You know, Papa J can't answer a question without taking you back to history. How he started revolution. Thank you for the question. The days when I was fighting corruption, in the revolution days, that was when I met Nana. Nana, Ajama Konodo, Makuma Bombe, boom, 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 boom. That is a bufu dua pa ni piano so Ghana dia obifu dua pa ni kita dua ni gina ho ni the one two. Have I answered your question? Who are you to say Papa J? You've not answered. So I think that is so that
is it. Okay, all right. Fortunately for me, I've been in Ghana for 2 years, so I understood, you know, the tree that you were speaking.
What are some of the challenges you face as a journalist or a broadcaster?
As a broadcaster, what are some of the challenges?
The worst you've ever.
I think it's just the time.
The time.
Yeah, like the work is very time consuming.
Okay,
yeah.
So we entertain and sometimes we get carried away. One time I was watching Michael Jackson and he was performing, and at some point he threw himself into the audience. And he trusted the fans so much that they caught him and they were moving him around and brought him back to the stage. And I said, I'll try it in Ghana. So I had a show in Cape Coast and I dropped a point. They were laughing. I said, this is the point, I have to set that record. I threw myself, whilst I was up there, about to land, I realized they were giving me gap. I landed, boa. One guy was like, hey, this joke is funny. Continue and climb the stage.
Say it again.
So comedy is a different ball game.
It's a different ball game.
Yeah, so but this is how far the Lord has brought us. It's been good.
But what have been some of the most highlighting and exciting moments of your career?
I would say almost. If you should be like the specific year. Yeah. You should be the year, like give me a specific year, because every year had a different. Okay. My breakthrough. I would say my breakthrough year. DKB did this one-man show at National Theatre. Yeah. And that time it had been my dream to perform at the National Theatre. And when I was going to National Theatre, I said it in my mind that I want to be talked about more than the host of the show. So I prayed to God and I told him. So when I went on stage, I think after every 1 minute I get a standing ovation. They stand up, they clap, they stand up, they clap, they stand up. And after the show, I think everybody that came over there, they were talking about me. And even your sister station, GH1, Pandit, out of 1 hour, they used 45 minutes to discuss me. And I said, this is what I've always been waiting for. And I think that year, every show I mounted, I had a standing of RTP Awards, 1,000 laughs, and all. Even the recent 1,000 laughs, from the response and the remarks I'm getting, some claim I was the best performer. Yeah. As well.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you for your last joke, but before then, what would you like to say to the fans, to anybody who's watching? What should they look out for in the year 2020 for Lekzy, the comic?
Okay, so as you always know, my fans know that I never fail them if they come to my show. I give them the best. Yeah. This year, Laugh Line is going to be something else. We are bringing them something they've never seen before. They think they've seen the best of Laugh Line. They've not. So this year, it's going to be crazy. A big shout out to my team. That's Casa Entertainment, my manager, Daniel Lato. And they have been holding me down. Most of the magic, it goes on in the thinking room before they see it out there, and they make it believe. We make it believe that it's all like just the Lekzy, but we have a team also supporting from.
Okay. All right. Before the last question. Okay. You are walking the streets of Accra or you're in the mall. Do you ever get someone who says, "Tell me something funny"?
Yeah, we get some.
And then how do you deal with that?
And I ask them, if they meet a boxer, do they ask him to give them a freestyle? But you get that always. Yeah. Something might come up. Like you just say something and they laugh. Like, oh, you made me laugh. This one wasn't me planned. I just say something. Say something like, that's all. Okay, all right. So your last joke before we take a break. Okay, my last joke. Oh, wow. Pressure, eh? Okay, my last joke. I don't know if this one you get since you're South African. Okay. All right. So when you watch white, I don't know about South Africans. Like how you guys treat love. How do we what? You treat love. Okay. Love. We love love. You love. Yeah. You know, white people, they make love look so simple. Like sometimes you can see Tracy, a lady called Tracy, a guy called Teddy. They'll be sitting on top of a roof and they'll be looking up into the skies. And Teddy will be like, baby, what do you see up in the skies? Then Tracy will be like, I see stars. Then Teddy will be like, so what are you observing? I see 2 bright stars. Teddy will go like, that is you and that is me. Then Tracy will go like, oh, love me. Don't try that with Ghanaian ladies. You know, Fanti ladies especially, their mind is more tuned to food.
Okay.
So you tell a Fanti lady, Araba, she sky is nim. Eba zine o se mo hunstroma. I say, mini ben Araba ready into stars. I say, yana na mo kan wasem bi there. The stars no about the muffin na. The muffin emane, obeba the muffin. You won't get that joke. But the viewers
but our cameramen have got it. Oh, laugh. All right, thank you so much, Lekzy the comic. That was wonderful. All the best. I'm sorry for your cold. I hope you get well soon. The Hamatan shouldn't let you, stop you from being great. I'm going to take a quick breather. When we come back, Frankie and the Bam Bam Band are going to play a few 90s jam for us, and stay tuned.